Welcome to the Liberal 12th Man Show. I'm the Liberal 12th Man, and I also have some other 12th men with me. I have JK, I have Brian, and I have a Liverpool legend as well with us, Frank. I would like to welcome you all. How are you guys all doing? JK, how are you doing?
All good, bro. All good. Hope you guys too.
Okay. Brian, how are you?
Oh, very good. Looking forward to this one now.
Yeah, so am I. And Frank, how are you doing as well?
Something on me about being a legend, but I think you're a legend yourself there, so. And the other two, by the way.
Appreciate it. We're all legends in our own way, right? We're all legends in our own way.
Yeah.
But I wanted to. Today's episode was going to be basically we always talk about like these predicted or these combined 11s, and we do all these different types of always putting in our favorite players and these world-class players and such. But sometimes those players that kind of touched our hearts have really made impacts in the game, might have had really iconic moments, but not necessarily were world-class players per se. I think that sometimes it'll be kind of cool to give them their due and kind of give them the spotlight once again, and kind of give combined 11 basically of what I think would be, what we think collectively would be a combined 11 for cult heroes. And I think that like we can all I know we all look at a lot of these players as heroes, as we were talking backstage, but they're all heroes in one way or another. But for this matter, we're going to be dealing with just like some of those players that we really, really enjoyed watching play, or brought us those moments where we're just like, the pure jubilance of the moment was because of this individual player. So we're going to include you guys in the chat as well to have a say in it. We're going to go, we're going to go position by position. We're going to go start from the goalkeeper, and we're going to work our way all the way to the front line. And this one should be a fun little episode, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, will be, should be. Whether the
should
agree with it, I don't know.
Yeah, it should be exactly. But we should be it should be kind of cool to also comment, like, are there some ideas of like are there some moments that really stick out for you guys that are going to be probably some of the moments that we talk about or speak on? With like, as in, what's one iconic moment that you think back on the Liverpool, and I'm talking about like within the last like 30 years, let's say, so we can keep it with some of the fan base's history or memories, because I know some aren't as knowledgeable when it comes to some of the older, like 40, 50, even if not 60 years. I'm getting old myself. That's how scary it is. Because when I think about it, I can think back 30 years at least and remember. But all the same, JK, is there a moment that like, is there one iconic moment that you can remember that really, really sticks out for you?
It's Istanbul. I think the way it all happened, I think that is, for me, the best Champions League game ever, final. And I think it's just like a special day, So from that era, who was playing and stuff, there's some guys in there who could be involved in the setup.
Mm-hmm. Brian, did you have a iconic moment, like as in a moment where like a player like kind of like stole the show type for you?
Liverpool Football Club, lists of iconic moments, don't we? You can keep going with them.
Right.
Right. Yeah. JK obviously with one of the most famous games in not just our history but in football history, Istanbul, the most famous games in the European Cup. But I suppose maybe for me, an iconic moment, like just one of those ones that you kind of don't really get in the average game. I'd say Gerrard, that goal against West Ham just like football almost as Roy of the Rovers, just the 35-yard screamer to win the cup final from, it doesn't really get more kind of, like I say, Roy of the Rovers, if everyone, remembers Roy of the Rovers. So for me, that just in a kind of the game would be maybe with JK, but for an outstanding moment, that one's still really I can still see it, I don't even have to look it up. I can still see it in my head. Like, so yeah, I'll go with Gerrard. That West Ham goal. Like he said, he couldn't walk. He had his legs were gone. He had no energy. He couldn't walk. He said the only thing I could do was absolutely belt it. So he did, and in it went. So.
How about for yourself, Frank?
Do you know what? That resonates with me. I was actually there when he hit that, and it was unbelievable. The feeling was immense. It was a funny feeling, actually. I've never had that feeling before. Now, my little thing, that it's very not similar, but the feeling is very similar. And I go back. I go back to dinosaur days with some of your viewers, most probably. But I go back to 1977, and it was absolutely incredible when we were beaten 1-0 over in France against Saint Etienne, and we came up, playing the second leg here, we came up, and it was absolutely chocker, the ground. And when David Fairclough hit that kid, we were getting beat as well 1-0 by a lad named Bethany, who was absolutely wonderful. And he hit a 30-yard screamer. And I was right behind. I was in the cup, and I was right behind that ball, and it was going into the Anfield Road, and it was swerving. And to beat Ray Clements from that distance is phenomenal. And anyway, when we went and scored, it was absolutely amazing. From a pass by Ray Kennedy. And it was planned, because David Fairclough said, if you get the ball, they just hit it forward and I'll run onto it. And that was like, it wasn't just before then. That's when he came on as sub. And anyway, Kennedy, remembers what he said, and he just hit it forward. David Fairclough ran onto it and he hit it. But it wasn't like the goal that got me. I've never heard a roar so loud in all my life. And I've been to some games, I've been to the final. I've been to everything. But I've never heard a roar like that in my entire life. It seemed to lift the roof off. So that's my iconic moment. That goal, the cup, the roof, everything.
Perfect.
Really cool to see. See, that's the reason why we have you on, Liverpool legends. Gotta respect them. So, I mean, that's that. I mean, it's one thing to watch it on TV. It's another thing to watch it like on replay, like some of us have, and or some have, and it's another thing to be there and experience it. Absolutely.
Can I just add something, please?
Sure, absolutely.
There are two things. That one, that live, if you know what I mean. As you said, being there, experiencing it. The other thing that I experienced, which was phenomenal, really phenomenal, and I'm talking about my own city, was when a friend of mine, he's no longer with us, and we bunked off college. He said, "Do you fancy going to see a group?" This is true, a group. And I went, because I was a SWAT, being honest, I was a SWAT. So anyway, we bunked off, we got off playtime, and we went up, and what I seen resonates with everything I've seen about Liverpool FC, and that was the Beatles, watching them live.
Yeah, that would have been amazing to see the Beatles. Yeah. That's pretty incredible. Incredible.
What year was that,
Yeah.
Frank?
Sorry,
What year was that?
that was in. Oh, shut up, you. Well, it was in 1963. It was.
1943.
That believe it. No, no, it's not the 63. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, good.
Well,
A second.
I wanted to let's just start off with, I guess, like we're gonna start off with goalkeeper, okay, and we're gonna decide on. I think the goalkeepers, for me, is pretty much an easy choice for who would be a cult hero style goalkeeper for us. He was a pretty good goalkeeper, but he, as some have just mentioned, as Brian was mentioning, and also, or even JK pretty much was mentioning about the 2005 Champions League. I think Dudek was basically, would be my choice for the actual player that I would put in as our goalkeeper. Yeah. But I mean, there could be someone else that we're all thinking of. I'm surely open to hear. Is there another choice that you would say, or do you think that he is pretty much the person that we need to go with?
Yeah, he's the man.
Bruce Grobbelaar in Rome, and I was there again in 84.
Okay.
And he was doing the wobbly bit. The wobbly bit, when they were taking penalties, and he was doing the wobbly bit, and the player just put us over the bar. That won us the game.
Okay. Norman was saying he was in the Cup last standing game 1994 versus Norwich, where we lost 1-0. Jeremy Goss scored for them, still got his ticket and program from the game. If you still got the program, I know that Jean Grey loves programs, so maybe she might try to take that off your hands. He says never ever heard a noise like 05 versus Chelsea with Garcia.
That was big.
Yeah, another cult hero, possible candidate for cult hero status here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like, hey, you know what? That's not a bad shout, to be honest with you. I mean, Adrian's not. I don't know if he falls into cult hero status per se, but I mean, hey, he's had some iconic moments in the sense of holding up our team too. Is that too far out? Is that too far out there, you guys?
Yeah.
What do you think, JK?
I think so. Because
you don't think so?
The World Club Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But I just feel what Dudek did in that game, where Shevchenko could have scored and won it, and he saved it, plus the penalty saves, and win a Champions League after being 3-0 down. You can't get better than that for that position.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, hey, we could also maybe even say Kelleher could possibly be in that candidate. Now I'm thinking out loud a little bit. I mean, Kelleher, has won a couple of cups for us just solely on his performances, So, I mean, who do you guys? So we'll go around. We'll go around the horn here. I'll start myself here. I'm going to say, I'm still going to go with Dudek, but who would you go with, JK? And then we'll go to Brian, and then we'll end with Frank. Who would you say is going to be your goalkeeper?
Dudek as well.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Brian?
Yeah, I'd have to go with Dudek, because purely from the quality, like for me, Bruce Grobbelaar is a legend. He's way beyond the level of a cult hero. When you say the cult hero thing, to me, what I think of as a cult hero is as players that are loved by Liverpool fans but aren't really appreciated outside of the club, or aren't really loved outside of the club.
Good definition.
It's just so everybody knew how good. For me, like Grobbelaar, I wouldn't even be putting him into that kind of category. He's in an all-time like. So again with some of the other players that were mentioned, I wouldn't think they'd fall into the the category. I don't, I'm just kind of calling it what it is. So, yeah, because he's not someone that many other players or many other fans or many other people would say was a great keeper or this or that. But he won us one of the biggest trophies of all time. That kind of has to really go into it for me, because all other keepers were too good to be called heroes. They were worldwide renowned. They were world stars. So for me, yeah, Dudek, because he won a big trophy. He did the Brucey thing in respect of him and pulled it off. So he has an iconic moment. He has an iconic game. Not many people outside of Liverpool would say, "Oh, Dudek, one of the best keepers ever." They'd say, "Dudek, he was average. He was this. He was that." He played for Madrid. He played for Liverpool. He won the lot. To me, he's kind of almost the closest thing we have to a cult hero goalkeeper, because most of them are too good to be considered cult heroes, in my opinion.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Frank, did you have do you want to say your choice? Say your nominee? I mean, we can always put him as an honorable mention.
No, I'd have to go along with that, with Dudek, because he did. And as Brian said there, he actually did the Brucey thing, who I mentioned before then, when we won the European Cup. Now, what you've got to understand as well is these are all cult heroes. You can't get away from them. You just cannot get away from the cult status. It's incredible. Like Reina, remember the penalties he saved for us to go through? It's incredible. At Anfield. But I'm going along with Dudek simply because the double save from Shevchenko, the penalty saves as well, the Brucey wobble, and also when I got home from Istanbul, it was the next day. I'd never seen the parade, and anyway, someone recorded them coming home, and what I seen at Lime Street, on the plateau, and there, two ordinary lads, and he must have wanted to make a band, and he must have just got the mum's sheet or something, bed sheet, and wrote. You could tell that they just wrote it on it, with a bit of paint or something, black paint, and it said, "We've got a pole in our goal." That was iconic for me. So I'll go along with Dudek.
With Dudek, okay, all right. It's gonna be interesting because I mean, like, hey, you know what? Too though, the chat has it right too. I think it's Dudek's gonna definitely, Dudek's definitely one of the more easier choices to make. But I believe I'll just find it in the chat here. Alexander said it. If we win the league or Europa, Kelleher definitely is going to be a more. It's definitely going to have a little bit more of a shout at being, that more predominant choice possibly for keeper. But all right, Dudek it is for right now for sure. Okay, so let me bring him up then. All right. How about we start with, and do you want to go left back first or you want to go right back first? Which one would you like to start off on? How about we go with I think the easier choice for me would be, I would say let's go with left back. How about that? Because I think there's my choice I think for left back is because there's not very that many iconic or cult hero style left backs, I think, but I know that JK and Brian already know who I'm gonna nominate. I already spoke about them before when we were talking about how we wish that I can only wish that Robbo had this certain individuals like ability to score, I guess you could say, from left back, and that's John Ars Reese. Yeah. Reese is definitely someone that I think would be my choice at least. Who would be again? We'll go reverse time. Frank, we'll go with you this time. Who would you have at left back?
Well, Well, he did sing about Reece, Aldridge just scored that goal against Man United, the free kick, which was absolutely phenomenal. But I'll go along with a fella you won't even know, unfortunately. But if you've got some idea about the history of Liverpool, and it was a lad, a left back, by the name, and no one got past this fella. And he scored one of the most iconic goals at Wembley in the FA Cup final, and it was disallowed. And after the game, the referee said, I should have allowed it because there was nothing wrong with it. He wasn't offside, he was onside. He thought he was offside. Anyway, that's by the by. And his name is Alec Lindsay.
Okay. It's a good shout. Okay. Brian, who would be your shout?
I would, Frank. I've heard of Alec Lindsay. I've definitely heard of him, but I couldn't speak on him at all. So I'm going to 100% like what you said. But I couldn't speak on him at all. But I think Reece again falls outside the cult hero bracket for me, just a little bit too well known.
Okay.
Like, too kind of appreciated how good he was. Like, I think for me, again, it's the obvious one for me because he's one of my favorite players of all time, just in a weird, not a weird way, just my own little way, is Fabio Aurelio. I just love him as a footballer.
That's
one of the most gifted footballers we've ever had. And he falls very much into the perfect category for me of players who only really Liverpool fans love. It's not like other players like, oh, that Aurelio guy played for Liverpool, he was brilliant. No, it's only us that really remember how good he was and appreciate how good he was. Valencia fans too, obviously other teams he played for, but completely forgotten, which makes you good cult hero. That's good cult hero stock right there. And he scored an absolutely iconic goal against Manchester United when we beat them 5-1 at Old Trafford. Scored one of the best free kicks we've ever taken at Old Trafford. An incredible free kick taker. Then got injured a bit and then disappeared. But technically, one of the most gifted players we've ever had back in the 90s. They're all that good now, a lot of them, but this guy was on another level back then. So for me, he is the ultimate cult hero. Again, I didn't want to go too far into the 60s and 70s because I don't know enough about them to talk about. I mean, I only knew about them 10 minutes ago, basically. So, but for me, the ones I can remember and have enough of an opinion about, it would have to be Aurelio. I just love the guy. I think he's just a superb little player.
Okay. JK, who would be your choice? Oh, JK's on mute. Yep.
JK, ready.
I think JK, you there? I'm not sure because I don't see any private. Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'd go with Aurelio as well.
Okay. Getting outvoted. Yeah. All right. All right. Tom agrees with you guys. There was some that Tom also said Reece too. MKTOH. I gotta figure out what that even says. But he said Reece as well. He brought up let's see, Hagam was good as well. He said it looks like okay. What was the year, Frank? Also, someone asked what year was that? They asked.
Well, Jimmy for Alec
Lindsay.
Alec Lindsay, 74.
Okay.
When Keegan scored, and we beat Newcastle 3-1 in the FA Cup final.
Wow. Okay. I'll have to definitely look that up.
Good.
Sounds like iconic game, but it looks like by what I'm going to go with then, I am going to go with for left back. It looks like we're going to be going with your guys' choice. Go with Brian JK's choice as being the left back. I can understand why you're saying Riise doesn't. Is it so? You're just saying Riise only doesn't make it because of, huh?
Risa, he doesn't fall into my category of cult hero because they have to be a little bit more obscure. You know, it's just like Risa was really highly respected and rated. You know, there was talk of him going to Real Madrid and talk of that. You know, the cult hero boys are just the ones that, you know, they're just below that level for me. It's not below ability wise. It's just, I think it's a, you know, when you ask me to do these things, I take them seriously in how I define them. That's my definition for them.
Okay.
You know, Grobbelaar, a great entertainer, has all the bits, but too big, too good to be a cult hero. But the fact that Aurelio is in this team basically means that my work here is done. So I'm happy to go with everything else from here.
All right. All right. Then, all right. How about this then? How about we move on to the center backs? Okay. Who would you have as our left center back on this list? Oh,
JK.
yeah. JK, you're up. Yeah. Good to see you, Nigel. Good to see you. Yeah, left center back.
Oh. What's the names you got?
I mean, I have some choices that I would have put in there, but like I would have possibly, yeah.
Do you have the list? Do you have the thing you sent me? Could you pop that up on screen for a minute? Maybe you might get some people.
Yeah. Here, you know what? I'll put in yeah, okay. Give me 1 second. I'll put out I'll give a listing of all the possible list, or how can I put it? Like I'll give a list of names. Not necessarily by position. I'll just give the names of some of the cult heroes that I thought would be possibly selections on here. And but I would have maybe gone with Agar as a choice.
I think Agar's a bit more than that. I don't know. Same with Carragher and these type of guys. You know, there's a lot of
Carragher. I wouldn't have put in that list. Yeah. But I mean, like, I don't know if do you really think that Agar was very highly rated by neutrals or even rivals?
Yeah, I think he was with us a long time.
Yeah, Barcelona wanted him because he was so good on the ball.
Okay.
The only injuries held him back. Oh yeah, I'll go with a cult hero. I'll throw in then to start. I'll go with Soterios Kyrgiakos, the big Greek, the big lumping Greek lad that came just to get it started. I'll throw him in. He wasn't brilliant with this good cult hero stuff again. He was big. He was, he was crazy looking. He was Greek. I think it was our first ever Greek player, maybe. He was, he was part of that time when we were just trying anything to get a decent centre half. So we ended up with some really mad ones like Pellegrino. Clavin, I don't really get the Clavin thing. I think that's more of an internet meme thing than actual cult hero stuff. He never really did that for me. Jimmy Traore, I was kind of thinking him maybe the left back thing. If I could actually know, like for his iconic moment and all of that stuff, maybe Jimmy Traore, if we could put him in there at left back, maybe. But I'll get it started off with Kyrgiakos.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll be on both.
There's a shout for Coates. Lovren could be a Lovren.
But then again,
I'm just saying with people in the chat.
A Croatian, international. I mean, see, you've got. See, I go back. Look, this is just me. When you're talking about cultish people, the likes of Alex Lindsay, you were mentioned, at left back, you just don't know them, unfortunately, because modern day players that you're talking about, these are all brilliant players. They're not cultish. The only fella I'd say at right back who's like a cultish and most underrated and he wasn't always out there, was Steve Finnan, who you might know. You've heard of him, haven't you? Steve Finnan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but they're all class. Yeah,
Okay.
they're all class. They're all class players. Like it's sort of like we've got 11. We've got like maybe 20 on a list or 20, but they're all really good players.
Mhm.
Can't play for
Mhm.
Liverpool without being quality. But it's kind of, some people might get the definition, take it a bit too kind of negatively. It's more of a just kind of a fun kind of players that Liverpool fans love. The way I like things is they're players that Liverpool fans love. It's not really about ability, but that other fans of other clubs don't know or don't appreciate their ability. It's just
Right.
kind of
Or yeah.
that's the
But
way I
wouldn't
think
rate
of
the
them
way,
anyway. Yeah,
yeah.
that's just the
Wouldn't
way I
rate the
think
way that
of
we
them.
rate them. Right.
Yeah, they're all class. Like they're all. But Steve Finnan as well. I mean, a man who came and then disappeared from football.
Yes.
Mhm.
Completely disappeared.
And yes, he was a regular every week,
Brilliant player. Absolutely brilliant right back.
and he was absolutely brilliant, Steve Finnan. I mentioned that, like, to get a coach's feel about a player, rather than say, oh, well, he was he's world class. You say like Nick Kennedy, for example, you go, no, you can't have him as a co-player because he was absolutely unbelievable, one of our greatest midfielders. I mentioned an affair, was David Fairclough. Now he's a cult hero simply because he was known as super sub, and he always
Yeah,
seemed
I have been.
to score unbelievable goals. The likes of that one against San Etienne. He scores one of the most unbelievable derby goals ever scored at Anfield when he picked the ball up in our half and he just shot through the lot of the Everton players. And I mean, just going through them. And he hit it at such a ferocious shot that, just zoomed in. And see, he was a cultish player. And as I said, he was known as a super sub or the bionic carrot. But I'm going back, you see. As I said, I'm a dinosaur. But when you come to modern day players, it's very hard. That's why I said at the beginning, it's very hard to pick a cultured player without, picking the likes of Graham Souness or Fernando Torres or the modern day. It's just hard. Steven Gerrard, he's a cult figure, a cult figure.
Yeah.
So just
I guess it depends on like how the distinction of what we're saying for cult hero is simply like those are heroes, those are legends. So I mean, like we got into this with our when we tried to break down the legends and cult hero and or icons and such, and people sometimes get so wrapped up in the actual names or wording definition that we use for it, and then I guess it applies differently for everyone, but.
yeah, absolutely.
These are just players. I'm trying to I guess the point of this list is just more so bringing about players that are not necessarily like as in like, and I can understand. That's why I can accept Brian's interpretation of how he's going about it. For instance, when he mentioned why he wouldn't have added the player that I put on there for instance, and that's because like I just saw that we got KB in the house, and it's because of like certain names might be like you said El Nino, for instance. El Nino is a legend in my book, but I mean like he's also a world-class player. Like a lot of these players I'm saying are like not necessarily world-class, not necessarily like renowned by, if you were to go to someone like I don't know, go to someone like a Geordie or something like that and ask them about the player, would they rate the player simply because of like, would they they wouldn't necessarily rate the player because they don't have that moment associated with the reason why you look at him so highly. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's giving love to the players who don't normally get a bit of love, and it's saying like this is why
Mm.
we love them as fans, and why
Yeah,
why the average like the average Newcastle fan wouldn't even remember these guys playing for Liverpool. Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just that's the
Absolutely.
way I look at it.
All right,
It's
so
good.
I'll put up a list. Some of these names are definitely are like kind of borderline where they would possibly not. They probably would be like as you so put it, like we're probably more legendary than
No
not
way.
I'll, what's
Sorry,
that?
no way. And Torres is playing for the Legends Saturday versus
Yeah.
Ajax. I'm going Norman. Wow.
Yeah.
Torres is playing for the Legends in
Yeah,
Amsterdam against Ajax. Can you imagine the names that are going to be on that pitch?
Yeah.
An Ajax Legends team. My God. Against, oh
Yari
man, you are
Littman.
Norman.
Yari
You're a lucky
Littman.
man. Norman, you're a lucky man. Very, very jealous, massively jealous of that one now. What a city as well.
I wanted to also introduce to the panel too, Quasi Bold in the house. Big up Quasi Bold.
Big up, guys. How y'all doing?
Good,
Right.
very very good. We're I know that you're hearing what we were saying about like the definition of what we're doing with this list. Basically, is we're just doing a what we're classifying as a cult hero, meaning like a player that has had some like iconic moments, not necessarily a world class talent, but more so like your Divock Origi. Basically, I think the best way to compile it is Divock Origi is not world class by any means. Not many people would necessarily even put him as as a great talent per se if you were to speak outside of the Liverpool base. But in the Liverpool base, in our Liverpool fan base, Divock is beloved. He's very well beloved, and he obviously would certainly make a list in one way or another. So I put a list of some of the players I thought if you guys want to take a look at the list. So I have, I'm sure there's some names that you'll ask me to take off, or maybe are legends in their own right in your mind. But this was the list of some of the players that I had on my list of players.
I can't see
You guys,
it
I
because
hopefully.
it's
Oh wait,
on the
oh you
iPhone.
can't see it on your phone. Okay, yeah. Hold on 1 second. Make sure that Brian, you're there too.
Yeah, I just needed to switch up the avatar there to
Oh, the
represent
avatar. You got you.
you. Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to bring Yari back in. I had TT camera. I just wanted to bring Yari Littman back in, just as
Yari
we were talking
Littman is
about it.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's on this list as well.
What about Alonso?
Alonso could be on there too. I mean, some people don't
Which
have
one?
him as a legend. I have him as
Which one?
Alonso is a legend to me, but some people have him
Xabi
as a cult.
Alonso.
He's a cult hero. He was there
Quasi.
for what? He was there for 3 years, didn't he?
Quasi.
He won the
We're gonna
Champions
have
League.
fun with this.
No foolishness, Quasi. No foolishness.
He won the Champions League. He's a cult hero.
I
Yeah,
think
he's
is Quasi another one who needs to go to cult hero school to be educated in what the term cult hero means.
No,
Come on,
but
dude, he's too good to be cult hero.
It's that Xabi Alonso you're talking about.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on,
he-
man. He's
Xabi
not a cult.
Alonso.
He's above cult hero.
No, he was unbelievable.
yeah, he
He
was.
doesn't fall into the
More than just he is a cult hero in his own right.
Yeah,
You know,
because
if you're talking about the likes of Origi and players like that, he was 10 levels above him, if you know what I mean.
no, but I think the debate is not what the skill level. The debate is the hero and legend and that, right? He wasn't there
No,
more
no,
than how
that's
long? How
not.
long was he there?
That's not the show. That's not the debate. The debate is we're picking 11 cult heroes. We're all
Right.
going to go around with one 11.
True, but
So,
Alonso,
yeah,
I love
so-
Alonso. He won Champions League. He won FA Cup. He was amazing. Scored the goal from halfway. He did amazing things,
Yeah.
but he was there for
why
3
did-
years.
And why did he leave? Why did he leave?
Regardless of
Because Real
why he
Madrid
left or
won.
not, he
Because
didn't
Real
stay
Madrid
more.
won. Cult heroes are basically those players that we want to show love to, that nobody else ever remembers, and only Liverpool fans remember them. And if you were to ask a fan of another club what they thought of X, Y player that's our cult hero to us, they'd be like, "Oh, I don't even remember him playing for Liverpool."
Right.
It's the guys that never
Right.
get talked about. Gerrard,
So now
Torres, Alonso. You know how
okay,
great these guys are. It's about
okay, now I
culture.
understand. But now
The
you
likes
see,
of a
you just
Christian and a Clavin. We're not changing it, Quasi. You're late to the party, dude. This is what we're doing, man. It's
no. You
11
just you
culture.
just change the definition, Brian.
We
You
didn't
just change
change
the
the definition.
definition
We
because you
assumed
can
every
no,
definition.
but
We assumed
because I was under my understanding of a cult hero was somebody who have done great things for the club. They were not there for a long period of time. Hold on. They were not there for a long period of time, but they've done great things for the club. And Alonso fits all those models. You can't put Alonso as a legend when he hasn't been there more than 5 to 6, 7 years. I'm just saying. I love the guy too. We all love him, but just because we love him doesn't mean we have to be biased because we want him to be the manager and he was great. He was great. He's probably the greatest short-term player we ever had. But don't rephrase the name called the definition of the cult hero just because we love him so much.
I didn't.
You just redefined the cult hero term. I mean, you were doing
maybe
great. You almost convinced me.
I'm not sure what your definition was, Quasi. I'm not sure.
I told you what my definition is.
It's just supposed to be a fun show where we're picking a few players.
About, to be honest, I don't think you realise what we're talking about. We're talking about players who never get recognised but became a cult hero. The likes of as the 12th said there.
I see. Uncle Frank makes more sense than Brian because Brian was on a whole different tangent. Uncle Frank is making better sense to me. So now I will yield.
Okay. So let's just I know the live bird is taking a little turbulence here. Let's unbuckle our seatbelts here, hopefully, and be able to get back on track. All we're doing again is just like trying to pick out like players, like as in you know what, I don't know if I put his name, I didn't put his name in there, but like a Minamino could be a cult hero in a sense, you know, like
I think Mignolet.
Okay, like Minamino had, you know, he's very big in the reason why we won a couple of those cups. You know, he wasn't necessarily like world class. He wasn't world renowned or anything like that, but he's special to us because of the moments and iconic moments that he brought for us. That's the perception of what we're getting on. So yeah, I don't think I had him on that list, but can you guys all see this list? I know Frank can't see it because he's on his phone, so it's a little bit too small for him, I think.
Yeah, I can see, unfortunately.
Oh, you can see?
No, because I'm using my iPhone. Oh, yeah. Hang on. I've just.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I've just built it up, actually. Yeah. Okay. There's some good ones there, and you can say that a cult, you know, just cult, but not in the loving sort of cult figure, if you know what I mean. But yeah, cult.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. Let me make sure I didn't put Minamino on there, but that's one name
How dare you forget Minamino?
I know. That's my guy too.
Do you think Mignolet and Babel are considered cult heroes?
These are just a few suggestions of random names to remind people in the chat. They're just prompters. They're just reminders. Everyone can pick their own. This isn't the list that you can. This is just prompters for the chat because people are like, remind me. So that's all this is. That's all that list is.
Right. Just some names, just some reminders of names like that in case, like you know, like a Maxi Rodriguez or something like that, or like Igor. I know Igor Biscan is like somewhat of a cult hero for some type deal. So anyway, we're on our center backs though. We're on our center backs. Who can we put into this list for center back?
You can throw the greens. You can throw the pitch back.
You can put that.
Put the pitch back up. Okay.
You can put that back up. Yeah. That would be a better graphic to have because everyone's had a look at the list, so they've reminded themselves. So just pick your own. But those are just
those are some of the names those are some of the names I would probably. Those are obviously some candidates that I would probably throw out there, or some names I would say, that might be legendary, might not be legendary, but all the same. For this, we're just going by that. Nat Phillips gets a shout from Ian. Okay, I got you. Very interesting. He could be a cult hero, possibly. You have to Moreno.
So
Yes.
At the point we'd finished, I had picked the center half, so we're still waiting. We need Frank, JK, Quasi, and yourself to pick a first left-sided center half. I went with Kyrgiakos, so that was the first one on the list. So we need to get votes in for a left-sided center half.
Skirtle.
Yep. I had him on the list. JK?
My guys are all big arrows, unfortunately. I can't think of anyone. The only fella I can think of, he wasn't like cultish, and he went, and that was it. No, I'm not even saying him because you won't even remember him because I'm going back.
Go ahead. Go.
Shall I say it? Shall I say
it?
Larry Lloyd.
Larry Lloyd. Another one. I've heard of him, Frank. I guarantee. I've heard of the guy because it's a name you remember.
That's the unfortunate thing with me, to be honest.
Yeah. Larry Lloyd. Yeah. What's that? 60s? Is he 60s?
No, again, it was the 70s. It was mid-70s, up to the 80s, actually.
You might get some votes in the chat.
I think Daniel Alga, as great as he was, an injury plagued him. He would be a cult hero.
Yeah.
Because he had a vibe about him, especially people who love tattoos loved him so much. But I think if it wasn't for those injuries, he was at one point the best center back for quite a period of time, but injuries plagued him.
I had Agar as my choice. I had Agar, and obviously from the list, I had Agar and Skirtle as my two choices. But
you went first, Quasi, then you with Agar. Who are you going with? Are you going Agar or Skirtle? Because it would make a big difference in the end there.
Yeah. I'm going Agar. If Agar can, I know if we can consider him to be a hero, I would go Agar.
JK, got a vote? Got a choice? JK there?
No, JK's on mute right now. He's dealing with something, I think. Go ahead, Brian. So Brian, you had your choice. Frank, do you want to nominate someone?
Go along with
What was that? Skirtle. Okay. All right. All right. Do you want to? We'll just go right center back too then, because like right now, Skirtle and Agar both have 2 votes for center back.
Yeah. But two.
Yeah,
but Quasi voted for Agar and Skirtle. I'm just wondering which one would he pick because he's got.
I was saying with me, I would choose both of them for the 2 positions. So Agar is one
for
of
the
them.
first one, go with Agar. Okay,
the first one,
Agar.
On the left side.
I the both. I'm being honest. I'm awfully sorry, but I thought we were picking players. Look, Daniel Agar is above what we're trying to say, about a co-player who got recognised. Danny Agar was recognised. He's a great player.
Okay, I agree.
I'm with that.
He was hardly recognised as a great player. Yeah, he is a coach's figure because of the goals he scored. I remember Sterling. I was there at a brace against Arsenal when we.
He's much more of a cult hero than Agar, in my opinion. Definitely, definitely much more into that. Much more.
Very much so. That's why
Agar was on the radar of every top team in Europe, whereas opposition fans were like, "That Skirtle fella is useless." So that's Is JK,
Okay.
JK, you got time, man, if you're back in the room. JK in the room? No? Go on to the next one, so. Go on to the next one, so.
All right, yeah.
Right side is centre half.
Yeah. So I have I'm gonna put Skirtle in as the choice because I have Agger and Skirtle anyway. If I'm gonna get my Agger taken out of the candidates, I will put Skirtle as my choice, and I'll go with.
I think also Skirtle is also good.
Second.
Now he's back. All right,
Well, then who for the second? You know what, Lovren's not a bad choice.
Yeah.
For as
that winner against Dortmund.
But I don't think Lovren was never Lovren, good or bad. He wasn't a cult hero. He was recognized. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He
was recognized. Lovren was well recognized. He has a lot of bad times, but you know, I mean, if we're going by the definition that Uncle Frank said, Lovren was very well recognized. I mean, Klopp made sure of that. Remember, Champions League winner, Premier League winner. He was there, thick or thin.
Okay, Ian saying
cost 20 million quid as well.
Yeah.
Facts.
Money that.
For me,
that was a lot.
Oh yeah, especially for us, and especially on a centre half. That was okay.
Yeah,
that was striker money.
Absolutely, it was like the Virgin. It was like the Virgil territory, wasn't it, at the time?
It was like, yeah. Then we fixed up and we went for the better looking one later on. So we ended up bringing her out later on to the more expensive, right?
Yeah.
Emily was crazy horse, man.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. One of the reasons why I also said it, because when I was doing my list, I did come across an article that had cult heroes on. It was on I think it was on This Is Liverpool, or it was on This Is Anfield, I think. It was one of the Liverpool sites, and they actually had Daniel. They had Agger as a cult hero. That's one of the reasons why.
It's an opinion-based job, you know. It's not a maths job. It's an opinion-based. Everybody's parameters.
Yeah.
So on the right side of centre half, I'm going to put in Jimmy Traore just to get him into this team because he seems to be everybody's favorite cult hero type player. Made a mistake. He cleared the ball off the line in probably the most comical fashion ever. You know, won the lot. Everyone has hilarious. But all of our other centre halves that I'm thinking of, for me, are too good to drop into the category. So just everybody wants Jimmy in this. He could play centre half. I'd switch him left and right, you know.
I can do that.
In Jimmy.
I don't think there's many people in Liverpool who go along with you there, Brian.
I know. I don't think I know. I'm out here on my own. I know. I'm out here on my own. But sure, look, Frank, we got to keep the trainer rolling. You know, we'll be here all night.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy would be made up to see his name there.
I think he would. I think. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Look, you know, Frank, Liverpool fans, they love a laugh, right? I'm Irish. We love a laugh. So, you know, if nothing else, he was a laugh. If nothing else, he was a laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Okay. That's fine. All right. It's fun. It's going to be a fun little list.
He's been getting shouts. All right. Yeah, he's been getting shouts in the chat all night. It's just been Traore.
Yeah, he has been. Yeah.
As soon as you mention cult hero, people go straight to Jimmy, and I think they go straight to Biscan. The younger crowd, obviously, they go straight to Biscan and Jimmy. I think are the first two that they always think of.
Yeah. How about for right back then?
Steve Finnan.
Okay. I have him in my list too. That was my selection anyway too. How about for you, Brian?
Do you want to go around the other lads? I've had my say there. Plenty.
JB.
Yeah, I'll go with Finnan, bro, as well. Yeah.
You go, JK, going Finnan. Quasi, who would you go with?
What's his name from Crystal Palace? What am I blanking? Before Trent.
Klein.
Klein.
Oh, Klein.
You got to
Oh,
put Klein
wow.
in there. He is the birth of Trent. You can't talk about Trent without Klein.
Okay. I think that unfortunately he could be a nominee for the bench possibly, but I guess you got outvoted, and then it's going to make that list on the right wing, excuse me, the right side. I can fit.
Yeah, the only other one I think of really as kind of someone that was loved by us, really, Rob Jones, but everyone knows how good he was.
Yeah.
Thingy, what's his name? The one I keep forgetting. The one who's named Marcus Babbel. Everyone knows how good he was. So yeah, I think Finnan's a great player because a lot of people will have completely forgotten him, and that's top quality cult hero stuff. Again. So
What about Rob Jones? Rob Jones as well.
All these boys, they'd all talk about
Stephen.
how he was better than everyone else. All the boys back in his days, Rob Jones, he would have been better than everybody. They all say it. They'd all say he would have been better than everybody.
Absolutely.
You never would have heard of Gary Neville. You never would have heard of Gary Neville if Rob Jones stayed fit, because Gary Neville never would have played for England.
No. And you've got another fella, Stephen Warnock. He was another lad, you know. He was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he gave it all.
Game.
Okay. Let's move into the midfield then. How about for right midfielder?
Quick question: 4-4-2, 4-3-3.
Okay, yeah. What do you want to do? We can classify that now. We're going 4-4-2 or we're going to 4-3-3.
Which formation is a cult hero?
4-4-2 is a bit of a cult hero formation. Yeah, not 4-3-3. Everyone does 4-3. Make it an old school 4-4-2.
We'll do the 4-4-2.
Yeah.
So then who would you have as on the right side for our midfield? We can go.
Yusuf Benayoun.
Oh, okay. That's a shout. That's definitely a shout. JK, what was your selection?
What position was that, bro?
We're going midfield, right side.
Ooh, tricky one, that one. I know it off my head. Just trying to think. Like, would Garcia come into that sort of bracket? Brilliant. Right midfield?
Yeah, he works.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was stuck. Yeah. You've done me a favor there, Jay. Yeah. You've done me a favor there.
Yeah. Okay. Frank, what was your choice?
You know what? I was toying with the idea. I was saying, well, what was Garcia? Was he a midfielder or was he a striker? Was he a false nine? So I'm going to pick. You're picking him a midfield. Yeah, definitely right sided.
Yeah.
Me too. I'll save you time. Me too.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's move right next door to him. Who's playing next to Garcia then?
Center mid, cult hero.
Mm-hmm. I can bring up the list at any time if you guys want some refreshers on some of the names that I suggested. But
yeah, bring some refresh.
Refresh.
Yeah,
give me 1 second. I'll bring it up right here.
Can I get Yari Litmanen in a 4-4-2 like this? I think you can just get four like Litmanen. Can he go in center mid? Probably a bit unlikely, isn't it?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, go with McAllister. I'll go with McAllister to start it off. Gary Mack, center mid.
Gary Mack? Okay. He was on my list as well. That was my nominee. Gary Mack for me. Frank, who would you have?
I'd have to go along with Gary McAllister.
Gary McAllister? Okay. Quasi or JK, you can go first if you're able to.
Yeah, Gary Mack as well, bro. Top choice.
Gary Mack. Okay. And Quasi, who would you say?
Yeah, we go with the group.
You go with go with McAllister?
Yes, sir.
All right. Oops. Make sure I can bring it in here. Look, you guys are picking people that I think are cool. Here goes to it. All right. Then who's playing on the left of him?
Gary Littman.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
I'm shoehorning him in. Yeah, I'm with Frank. I'll shoehorn him into midfield. He could do a job as number 10. So I'll put Littman in there with him.
Okay. So that's Brian and Frank's vote. JK, who do you have?
Also Littman, good choice.
Okay. Quasi?
Oh, man. That position is Gerard and Alonso. I crushed them, man. They were so good. It's very, and Mascherano and even Lucas. So it's very hard to think back to see who played.
You could Momo Sissoko, maybe?
Yes, Mimo Sissoko. Yes, that's the guy.
Okay.
Before
I had Lucas as my choice. I had Lucas as my choice.
Lucas is on the level of Lovren. Hate him or love him, they were there.
Yeah, I had Lucas as my
That's how I think.
On the left side.
I know, but Brian got a good choice.
I'm a man of the people, so got not voted. It's okay.
Yeah, Sissoko was the man.
He was definitely sure. Yeah. All right. On the left of him, who do we have on the far left?
I put Rodriguez in there.
Rodriguez? Maxi?
I put Max Rodriguez there.
Okay.
Because he was he was just like Kite. They could play left wing, play striker, number 10 role.
I got you. Okay, Maxi. I have him on the list. All right. JK, who do you have?
Maxi as well. One of my favorite players, Liverpool players, actually.
Okay. I'm gonna start going first so I can make sure my nominees at least get some backing possibly. But it's all good. Frank, who would you have on the left side?
I'd go along with that just because of his fantastic hat-trick against Fulham. Maxi Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Maxi? Okay. Brian, who would you have as well on the left end?
I'm going to put, thankfully this one hasn't been, I was hoping no one wouldn't mention it so I could just throw it in as a random one. Because I think Maxi, as much of a cult hero as he was for us, kind of falls outside a little bit of two stools in terms of, but I won't get into that. But for me, I'll say Ryan Babel.
Oh, good shout.
That's a shout.
Very good shout. Very good shout. Make sure
people loved him. I'm not sure entirely why, but some people absolutely loved Marcus Babel, and he created a lot of noise around. So he was a fun player. So I just, because I know I'm being outvoted already, I think by Maxi. So I just thought I'd throw Marcus Babel in there. Not Marcus Babel, Ryan Babel.
Wasn't he really, Ryan Babel? Because if you look at one of the greatest Champions League games was against Arsenal. 6 minutes to go, we were out, and the ball just got. We kicked off right after they scored, and the cameras never even, because I watched the highlights as well. The cameras weren't on him because he just got the ball and he shot down the left wing, and Traore, what's his name? Torre, who we actually signed, tripped him up in the area. We got a penalty. Steven Gerrard put us in. And then, you know, the final minute or so, as they were trying to attack and everything else, he got the ball off Dirk Coates. He just scooped it forward, ran forward, and put it past that their goalie anyway, whatever his name was. Yeah, so Ryan Babel was more of a winger rather than left-sided midfielder.
I think we thought we had the new Henry on our hands for 5 minutes, didn't we, Frank?
Yeah.
When we got Babel. That's how highly rated that kid was. Like 11.5 million, I think we paid for him. We thought when 20 million was big money for Lovren, when we paid 11.5 million for him, that was big money. So
blame Benitez.
Kind of faded away. Never really did a lot, you know. But yeah, like Ria saying the Babel copter. I'm not sure if you remember that, Frank. Even I'm a bit too old to remember the Babel copter, but there was just so much fun that went on around that guy, and then he faded into nothing. So perfect cult hero.
The culture hero, you see, the culture heroes that we're trying to like establish as, you know, he wasn't up there with the likes of Steven Gerrard or any of them, but a culture hero in his own right, on the lower scale. I think that's what we're trying to
Yeah, if you walk up to a Liverpool fan and you say one of these players' names, will that fan smile? That's the way. If that fan just immediately smiles when you say the name of one of these players, then you know he's a cult hero.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if he said an hour and go, "Are you having a laugh?"
Yeah.
Give me Traore, for example. No, I'm not having a go. I think this is fun, by the way. I think it's good. It's very hard. On 12th man.
I know, well, because like Babel is a great shot. I was gonna go kite, but that's would have been my choice. But I guess once again, what's that?
Is that three to Maxi? I think is it.
Yeah, Maxi gets it. Maxi gets it.
Okay, Maxi. Yeah. Okay, Maxi gets it.
Maxi was getting it. Bring Maxi.
What a volley!
All right, now we have our two. Yeah, we have our two forwards. Two forwards to select from.
I'll go first.
Who we're going to put in as our forwards? Yeah, we're going to put in our forwards.
Okay, now who I'm going to mention, you might think, "Oh, come on, you know, yeah, he's a big name and everything," but not when he came to us. I think it was just coming out of it passed the sell by date, to be honest. But we got him nevertheless. Rafa Benitez brought him, and I'd say Morientes.
All right.
What about David Ngog?
Ngog? Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
David Ngog. That goal against Man U alone gets him in there.
Oh, right.
I like it. I like what you say. Then you say the moment, and then you're like, oh well, wait, maybe. I like that. Okay. Kwasi, then who's your choice for forward?
I said David Ngog.
Oh, you did. That's your choice. Okay. Okay.
Choice.
All right. JK.
Bit of a tricky one, bro. Have you got a quick list? If you can shout me the names, that'd be cool. Sure. Because what it is with some players, they're on the borderline of being more than just a cult hero. Like for me, Dirk Cow, I don't know, the guy was top for us. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had him on the left, just playing like since we're going to 4-4-2, I had him on the left side. But
yeah, okay.
But yeah.
Cow did also play up top, you know.
Some of these names right here are on the list here. Some of these names are listed. Arteta is a twa. I don't know who that is. Keep it real said brought up TT. Moore. Okay.
Crouch. You got Crouch as well.
I got Crouch on there too. Crouch on there. Who else did I have on there? That's you can see is a striker.
Michael Owen.
Obviously, I got Origi on there too. I put Cisse on there. I know Cisse is definitely going to be like he's like more of like a legend in his own right, in his own self.
So is for Origi probably is a legend as well. When you look at him as a player,
absolutely, he's on the list. He's on that list. These are obviously they're not grouped in position. They're just like I just made a list of like the names that I had on for selections here.
Well, going with them names, I'll go with Origi 100% for one.
Well, that's all you need. No, they only need one. Yet.
All you need is one.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Okay, Brian, did you give yours? I'm sorry.
No. Yeah. Those who are observant will have noticed I've just changed my avatar back to that young man, TT Camera, who for me, what a talk about a cult hero, a guy who came in. Nobody had ever. This is back in the day when nobody, you heard about players. You couldn't watch him on the internet or anything like that. Yeah. TT Camara, he sounded, exotic and all. He sounded brilliant. I think he cost about £3 million again with that. This is like, who is this guy? He's going to be amazing. Comes in. He, it's a player I always, never looked into too much. I remember, but yet, he just what guy that brings back good memories. And like I said, puts a smile on your face. TT Camara, what a name for a start.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
These are the kind of guys. Look at him. He just looks like a player. He came in, stayed for 1 year. Everyone immediately fell in love with him. Energy, something different. And then something I found out today, which I'd forgotten. His dad died. His dad passed away, and the very next day, I'm assuming his dad was in Africa and he was in Liverpool. He's from Guinea, so his dad passed away, and the very next morning we were playing West Ham. We went to West Ham. We beat them 1-0. Who scored the winner? TT Camara. Drops to the floor in tears. Drops to his knees. I mean, the place now. If that doesn't, talk. If that's not an iconic moment, I'm not sure what is. One of the first ever African, absolutely the first Ghanaian ever to play for Liverpool. Maybe the last. I don't know. Like that's an iconic moment. One season, everyone remembers him. Everyone loves him. I just fantastic. Really, just a great cult hero, a great story, a great player, and a great name.
Well, it looks like I'm going to have to be the tiebreaker here. I'm going to go. It's tough to go after that. That was a good sell there, by the way, Brian. I will admit that was a very good sell.
If you go against me after that, I'll never come on your channel again. I didn't even miss a beat. If you go after.
I know that's a difficult. Oh wow. I'll go with TT. I'll go with TT. I can't. I got coerced into it, but I'll go into it. I'll bring TT into it because we got another selection for forward. I think he'll make the list. Yeah, I think we got one more forward selection. I mean, I think there's some really good selections or people that we could choose from. You could pick Minamino. You could pick who else do we have on there? Obviously Origi. Who else do we say? Who else is on this list here? Here, let me pull up the list here again. Do I have the list still showing? I'll bring up the list again. Whoops. Who else can we bring up there? Pongo. Crouch is definitely someone that could be on that list.
Jibril Cisse, Neil Mellor.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just make sure.
They're the only three that have
there.
been.
I make sure Frank was there.
Yeah,
who's that?
I lost you all, unfortunately. There was no sounds or anything, and so it went off.
Oh, I know. Somehow it knocked you out. I brought you back in, though. You're there. You're with us now.
Thank you. Mille grazie.
who we're going to bring in? This is the last position, the last name that we can bring out for this last forward. This again.
Who have you decided on? Because I missed it. Who have you decided on the other one?
We put Tito in. We put Titi. I said Tito. I'm thinking Michael Jackson. I'm thinking the Jackson 5 for a second. I'm sorry.
I'm putting Tito Jackson up top.
Yeah, exactly. Because something else completely different.
Thinking be it.
Yeah.
I think Heskey's a show.
If you lot pick Verona, I'll never come on this show again.
No.
Heskey also a good name.
I think Heskey's a good. I think Heskey's a.
I just feel that Origi did more. Like Origi should be in that conversation. Him and Cal, for me, both of them two have to be up top. I know Brian likes Titi.
I probably would have had Titi and Couch. Titi, if you had asked me before, like to pick my own 11, I think my front two would have been Titi and Couch, without a doubt. Yeah. But I think that would. So I'm with you, Jay. I think Coit should be in any cult hero type team because he's almost the perfect cult hero, especially for us. We love him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he got the Jews everywhere else. Loved in Holland, no doubt. But for us, Frank, you got it. Yeah, Frank, you got to let Lee know, man. Tracy Neville is. She's been in here a few times looking for him. She keeps popping into the chat looking for Lee. They got to hook it up.
God, I was talking to JK today. No.
What about Coit then?
I'm going. For me, Origi is pretty much has so many cult hero style status like accreditations to his list when it comes to whether it's the goal against Everton or it's obviously corner taken quickly like
the winner against Tottenham.
Origi's would be my choice for that final forward position. I'm going to put that out there first, since a lot of my choices or a lot of the ones I would normally want in there haven't really been gotten the fanfare just yet. So that would be my choice. Origi would be my choice. We'll go around the horn here. We'll get the final selection here. JK, who are you going with as your final selection for our final forward?
Origi.
2 for Origi. Quasi, who are you going for your final selection for the forward position?
Origi.
Okay. Brian, who are you going to put in for honorable mention? Because it's already someone been chosen, but.
Oh, he's won it. Yeah, honorable mentions. Oh, yeah, absolutely honorable mentions.
Or you can go Origi.
No, he's won it. As Frank said, Morientes. I probably would have had Coit in it to get Coit in the team, so that would have been my one. Okay. But yeah, Origi's alright. But mine would have been Coit. Yeah.
Yeah. Frank, who do you want to say? Who do you want to make sure got a shout?
Well, I'll have to go with the full house, won't I?
Divock? Okay. All right. If you guys want, we could do, since we got about we do have a few more minutes, we can do a quick honorable mention for the bench if you want. We could do some names that you think should have maybe made the list, but didn't make it. But we'll at least get them on the roster, get them on the starting
manager, cult hero manager maybe. A cult hero manager maybe that Frank could probably be the best.
Yeah, a cult hero. And this man was only he was only the manager for 1 year, but he brought unprecedented glory to us, and that was Joe Fagan. And I have to leave, unfortunately, boys.
No, yeah, I got you, Frank. Definitely. Thank you so much for joining
tomorrow night. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good.
Well, I'm going to give you out, to be honest, 12th man. I'll be
with the list, I'm sure.
Your heads as well. Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Take care, bro.
Be sure. JK is going to put Frank's URL for his show for the show in the chat. So you guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do go subscribe. Great stuff. He does a lot of different things. Whereas he has a show just for Liverpool, and also he has a show that he actually goes about for movies as well. Both are excellent. Thank you again, Frank, for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Cheers now. Ci vediamo. Vada domani. Ciao bella.
Ciao bella.
Arrivederci.
All right. So here's your chance, guys. Real quick. I'll give you guys each one selection. We'll go through the bench. We'll do 7 players for the bench here. Okay. And we're not going to do 9. Let's just do 7 just to get through them. Okay. And JK, who would you like to see the names that are on this list? We'll let the chat have a little bit of fun with it too.
Could I a quick suggestion?
Also, JK, can you put Quasi's into the list as well, just to make sure, just in case, because I know Quasi's a working guy, he's a working man, he's busy man. He might have to leave at any unexpected time. I want to make sure that we give a shout in case you haven't joined Quasi Bowl TV. You definitely need to, because Quasi up in the Bay Area, definitely bring the knowledge for sure.
The finest barbershop in the Bay Area. The finest barbershop.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And that man has 21 children, so please go and support. 21 people.
We need the super chats. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. But
okay, so
what about El Hadjouf? El Hadjouf, was he a cult?
Yes.
Oh, no, it sounds like cult. It's spelled like cult, but it isn't quite cult. I think that's the word you're looking for there, Quasi.
Right.
He was a menace.
He was a menace for sure.
More than society.
I'll go first to say I'm going to nominate or I'm going to put on our bench. I'm going to put on the bench. I'm going to put Minamino on the bench. I think Minamino should. I want to show some love for Minamino.
Well, he's a cult hero to you, man. He's a cult hero.
He's a definite cult hero, for sure. I think he's definitely a cult hero.
Should we do it proper, and pick like a second keeper, or are we just picking like that?
Second keeper will be good.
Yeah. We don't need to necessarily. Yeah, we don't have to worry about it. If we end up picking 4 strikers, albeit, then we're just gonna go offensive heavy, I guess.
The goalie gets sent off. If Duda gets sent off, Minamino going and go.
Exactly. Minamino can sub in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Gary Mack in goal for some reason. I can just see Gary Mack with his big bald head and his big hands being all Scottish. I'll give the obvious second one, because he didn't make it in, and he's everyone's favorite cult hero. Has to be Igor. Has to be on the bench.
Say it one more time. You broke up.
Igor Bishkan. Everyone
it's
calls
Bishkan.
him.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Everyone always puts him in the cult hero list because he won the Champions League and he looked.
Yeah.
But he kind of looked like a cross between, I don't know, like Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster and something else. He was. They don't make him like him anymore. They don't make him like Igor anymore. His name was Igor as well. So yeah, everyone loved him. And that's enough, I think, to get him on the bench for me anyway.
Okay. Quasi, do you want to give your shout? And then we'll go JK. I think I see Quasi got a phone. I heard a phone call ring. JK, you can give yours.
Well, for me, cult, but I think he's worth more than cult status or cult hero. I just feel cult did a lot for us.
No, I'm gonna go. I'm definitely gonna say that because that would have been my choice anyway. So you kind of stole my thunder a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm there with you.
Okay. Cool.
He was one of my favorite players, especially in that era.
I tried to get him
For
in.
me,
I tried to get him in at the end, but everyone went with Origi. So
Yeah, but what it was, bro, the Titi Kamara story sort of made us.
Yeah, no, you already got,
yeah,
you already got,
it swinged it.
It swung that.
The
I
West
mean, like
Ham.
with the shout about his dad and everything else. I'm like, come on, man, I can't go against that now.
It was a sucker punch right at the end. It was a sucker punch in there. Yeah, man. I'm gonna do when you become
should be.
That's a
well,
shout,
man.
bonkers,
When you go from there, when you go from there, I'm gonna do your speeches. Okay. When you go from there, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Neil Mellor, also a good name.
Mellor, man. He was the one that I added in when 12 Man said, do you have any other ideas? I was like, you have to put Mellor in there because he has that iconic goal. And if it isn't for that goal, lots of things don't happen. You know, and then he disappears afterwards. Never really looked like a proper footballer. You know, never looked massively fit, but he scored one of the most important goals that we've ever scored. You know, so he's got to be on the bench, I think.
Ian brought up a lot of good names, by the way. He's got Igor in his list too, though.
And what I like about Mellor is after he's left Liverpool, I've never ever heard him talk negative about Liverpool. Always positive. He comes on LFC channel as well, Mellor.
He went down pretty rapid, didn't he? He went down pretty,
that was the thing.
like it. Yeah, it's a cautionary tale of those guys. Not that he wanted to leave, but some of those guys that they come through the academy, man, even back then we weren't great. Like he went from Liverpool to like, I don't know, like Bolton and then Reading and then down. Those kind of things. But he scored like that goal. He'll always have that. He'll always have that to show it. Say, look, you know all that Champions League that everybody celebrates? Well, rewind, boom. You know, Pongol the same. Pongol, you know, he can walk away from the club going, I was part of that thing. That's what makes real cult heroes, is when you can attach something like that to them. That's what pushes them into that kind of thing. But we're lucky. Got
Quasi, you want to get your selection in there?
Okay. How many people do I get?
Yeah, you get one. You're getting one that we can't dispute. It's just each one of us gets a sub. We're all picking like a sub for our honorary mention for the bench. Who are you gonna have on the bench at least?
I thought that Youssef Benayoun was quite, you know, especially in the Torres Kite era. He was a great addition to the club. He and Maxi Rodriguez were competing. I mean, so much so that he had to go to Chelsea. Chelsea did take 3 or 4 of our players, including Herrera and these type of good, you know, players that
they had the money. They had the money to do it.
They had the money. And guess what? They're about to go to jail, but that's another conversation.
That's a whole other story. Yeah.
But yeah, I give big shout out to Youssef Benayoun, and because he came from, you know, he was one of a kind. He looked like he'd never know how to play, but the boy can dribble. He was very slippery. I think he was the Mahrez before Mahrez.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. I will get him in there. Let's go. We'll go JK. What is your next pick for the bench?
We haven't really talked about any modern sort of era, maybe Klopp's era, like Fabinho. He's a Champions League winner as well. So I'm trying to think of someone in the latest sort of crop of players that might be able to just jump in there. Ronaldo also another name. So is Fabinho? What is Fabinho to you guys? For me,
too good to be called hero.
So I'm going to go Ronaldo then. I'll go Wijnaldum.
Okay, fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right.
Okay. We'll put that up there then. Hold on. I guess Wijnaldum could be on there too. I guess you're right about that. For some reason I always thought I definitely think of him as I always thought of him as being appreciated. He's a legend for us for sure. But I'll put him in there. Give me 1 second. And then
first out for Danny Murphy.
Danny Murphy, the original hero. Remember the show?
Yeah.
He was the first guy, I think.
Yeah.
We all called out Danny Murphy.
Shaqiri is a shout too, by the way, though. Shaqiri is definitely a shout.
Played for
for that assist against West Ham. That assist against West Ham for Salah. 3 touches, from our goal. That was for me one of the best assists ever. Yeah. For that assist alone, he maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, totally. Yep.
That was big time.
Yeah.
I think. I think Danny Murphy does need to go in there. We all picked him first, so he'd be my second choice for when it comes around. So I only get 2, so I think Murphy should be on there. Definitely. So.
All right. We'll put Wijnaldum in there too. I'm trying to find Wijnaldum in here.
He's playing for Holland again, Wijnaldum. Yeah.
I know. I showed. Yep. He was walking in with into the building, or walking down the street with Virgil, which is pretty cool.
The Holland new kit is amazing. Yeah.
All right, let me get Danny Murphy in here too. All right, so everyone's got their second, right?
Yeah.
You guys all got your second?
Yep.
Quasi not. I don't think so.
Yeah, Quasi only got 1.
Quasi, who's going to be?
What's
who's
the name?
Your second?
Bellamy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Bellamy, I think when he came from City, he helped. He changed. He was kind of like the Milner back then. Utility across the front.
Okay.
Very, very fast. You can't forget about New Camp.
Definitely. All right, so Danny Murphy's going to make this list. Let me see if I can find an image of Danny Murphy. And I'm going to put in this list Greg as well. You guys, so looking at this list, as I'm going to put these last players in, I'll put Murphy and I'll put Craig in there too. Looking at this list, is there names on here that you're like, maybe they shouldn't be in there, and maybe they should, or are you okay with this list, basically?
No. Do you want to give it, just in case anyone if they can't see properly, do you want to call out the 11 that we picked there for the chat? Just remind them of who we have up in case anyone can't.
Wait, actually, if you don't mind doing it, can you do it while I because I'm still looking for some of these images to put on the bottom.
Yeah. So the 11 that we have ended up with so far, this is the definitive cult hero, Liverpool starting 11, which has Jersey Dudek in goal, Fabio Aurelio at left back. I believe we have Martin Skirtle, or did Agar win? I can't see it. Agar and Jimmy Traore. Skirtle.
Yeah.
Skirtle.
It was Skirtle. Yeah. Agar got voted as not being eligible. Okay,
so then we have Stephen in a right back. We have a midfield of Yari Litmanen and Gary McAllister in the middle. And then we have wingers, Maxi Rodriguez, Luis Garcia, and a front two of Titi Camara, Divock Origi, and the honourable mentions of Igor Biscan, Dirk Kuyt, two other people, and some guy.
Yes, I'm getting him. I'm trying to get an image of him. Just kidding. I got Craig Bellamy. Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bellamy. Who's the first guy on the honourable? Who's that guy you've got on the? I can't tell. But we've got Biscan, Kuyt, Yossi Benayoun.
Yes.
Taki
Minamino was one.
We had Gini Wijnaldum as well, and then we had Craig Bellamy. So we have Dudek, Aurelio, Skirtle, Jimmy Traore, Steve Finnan, Maxi Rodriguez, Yari Litmanen, Gary McAllister, Luis Garcia, Titi Camara, and Divock Origi.
Yes. And we'll put in.
Yeah, Lucas. Poor Lucas.
I voted for him.
Too good.
I voted
Probably
for
too
him.
good.
Too good, I think, for that.
Mm-hmm. But probably one of the most, I would say, out of the last 20 years, 15 years, ignoring the kind of obvious Gerrard, type stuff, I would say two of the most popular players at Liverpool with the fans would have to be Lucas Leiva and Bobby Firmino. Like, just forget all about other, just literally two of the most loved players on Merseyside. Lucas Leiva and Bobby Firmino. The fans just, like, it doesn't matter what they do, the fans would just love. They can come back to Liverpool in 50 years' time. They'll always be legends of this club. But yeah, I think Lucas, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Lucas is one of those guys, he's probably got kids that were born in Liverpool. Definitely, because he was here for that long in his 20s. They all have kids in their 20s, and he was here for about 10 years in his 20s. He definitely has Gauss kids.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Well,
proper.
I don't know. I always rated Lucas as a legend. Like, I think he's a bit more than a cult hero. I just think he's a legend, He might not win a lot of things with us, but the way his stature was, the way he was as a person, the way he just got on with it, and he was here for 10 years. So I think he's a bit more than just cult hero for me.
Yeah. The way he rose above, like, he wasn't like at first and all of that, like, the comments there is saying he got a lot of stick at the start. Everyone thought we were buying a Brazilian Kaká or something, and it turned out he was just a holding midfielder, and he got a lot of kind of slack for that, but for probably being the least skillful Brazilian in the Premier League, and people were used to like Juninho and players like that. But I mean, to stick it out and last all those managers and all that time, and be captain and playing all the big games. Yeah, he just like a proper servant to the club, and most players would have packed it in after 2 years. I not do, he's a really special player, I think, and underrated. Maybe not. I think he's as good as people think he is. He was never amazing, but he was one of those players that, in his job, perfect. Maybe like he wouldn't even be a Caicedo now. He wouldn't even be an Endo. He wasn't even that rough. He was kind of like a more defensive, attacking type player. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe a Declan Rice or something. No, I don't know. I'm struggling with what modern player I'd like him to the most. Lucas Leiva.
Do you like Bonker's shot for the goalkeeper as a backup goalkeeper?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Sander Westerveld. That's fine.
You good? Well,
no, actually, Reina. I think Reina. Why not throw Reina for the crack? Just throw Reina in there. He's more fun. He's more of a cult hero.
I would have put Reina. That's who I would have said. Tell you the truth. I would have said Reina. Tell you the truth. I know that you know, because he's connected with that 2005 team, like some people might look at him as being, oh, well, wasn't he a world-class keeper or this or that? I'm like, I don't know if he was necessarily looked at as being like world-class.
No, he came in 06. He came in after 05.
Right. Oh, right. I say,
yeah. But
05
yeah,
was,
no, massively.
05, yeah, 05, 06, right?
But yeah, no, but he wasn't there when we won he wasn't at Liverpool when we won the Champions League, basically.
Right. Yeah.
We found him out. But he was always like second or third choice at Barcelona, Spain, you know. So he's a good shout for it. Was
he's
never the top.
He plays in the Legends game too.
Yeah, look at all the teams he's played for since. You know, he left Liverpool and he went on and played for like 10 years at AC Milan. He played for Napoli. Like, and not just as a reserve, he played. So
yeah,
he came from Villarreal,
yeah. Looks like Tracy has left the building. I guess she's out looking for flowers.
Yeah, she said it earlier on. His time was up.
Yeah. Well, this is who we're going to go with. Some of the selections are interesting selections. You know, I'm sure they're going to be, or at least going to be interesting selections in the judgments of depending on when and where you've ingratiate yourself with this club and how the memories radiate with you. I think it's a pretty solid list, actually. I try to get on board here a panel at least that could really give you some real in-depth and real knowledgeable conception of, you know, what these players meant and what these players could represent. And I really do appreciate
instead.
What'd you say, Brian? Say it one more time.
I said, but those people were busy, so he got us instead.
No. Sound like I know. I sound like the maid and Family Guy there. No. But honestly, I appreciate the chat as well. I mean, you guys were on fire with a lot of the names. Some names that like kind of brought back just like little memories of my own, which are really, really cool to be a part of. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys as always. We are going to bring Quasi back in. We are going to be live tomorrow too again. So be sure to join us tomorrow, same time, same place. But before we do, let me give a shout out for JK. JK, do you want to give any parting words before we land this plane?
Yeah, just subscribe to Quasi and Frank, and also press the like button. It was good to talk about the old players. You know, it's like I think the way football is now, you forget the old players sometimes, the new generation. You know, and without these guys, we wouldn't be where we are now. You know, these guys win a Champions League and stuff to add to our tally. You know, so yeah, appreciate what the players we have. You know, because they in the future they'll be gone, and then you'll be like, oh, I wish we still had him.
Yeah,
that's why you don't get on the. That's why I don't get on the players' backs as such. I think they're humans, you know. But I think these guys know when they've played bad. So good show, bro.
Spot on. Quasi, you want to give a shout out for your channel and then also give some parting words before you do?
Oh yeah, Quasibo TV. Thank you so much, 12 Man, for having me. Big up to Brian, JK, Uncle Frank.
Bless, bro.
Thank you so much for. Am I missing anybody else?
Nope.
No. Yeah.
No.
And
the chat as always.
Oh yeah, my peoples in the chat. Thank you so much for always supporting the channels. And Manchester United, pay your taxes, man.
Recognized, definitely. Brian, I know you hate going last, but what would you like to say before? I'll say something after you, but go ahead. What would you like to say to the people?
If you like the show, we're going to do more stuff like this, and the only way to get stuff out, you know, is word of mouth about creative things. Is the best way to get things out. So if you liked tonight's show, tell someone that you saw, tell them you watched, and tell them you liked it. Don't just share links and all of that, but also do all the other stuff. So like it, and then leave a comment afterwards telling us who your favorite cult hero player is. You don't have to put in your 11, but your favorite cult hero player. Leave that in the comments. And then the link is in the chat, so you can go and subscribe to Quasi Bowl, the best hot towel shape in the Bay Area. And the man's got 21 kids. We've already established this, so we need all the help we can get. So yeah,
Isn't that
do
a
all
50
of those.
Cent song?
Do all of those things. Yeah, just do all of those things. That's all you have to do.
Do all those things for sure. The
This
biggest
stuff
thing
is
you can
free.
do. Exactly.
Yeah, this stuff is free. You may as well go and like someone else's channel.
Exactly. It doesn't cost anything. You know, there's a lot of channels out there that like to do the rage baiting. There's a lot of channels out there that like to do, you know, the divisions and such amongst our fan bases. And, you know, they like to see us in turmoil. That's not this place. You know, Quasi is not that place. You know, it's more so this is about finding some a safe place, finding a place where at least you can talk about good memories. You can share some positive thoughts, some positive vibes and everything else. You know, it's about like just being and honoring the element that I believe is truly what it is to be a true Mighty Red, and that is, you know, inclusive in for each other and being certain to say, hey, you'll never walk alone. It's important. It's very important. So please do continue to take care of yourselves. The best thing you can do is by taking care of yourself, you can take care of your other loved ones in your lives. It's important. Life is a precious thing. We all know this. So therefore, let's cherish it and make the most of it. And these moments are really, really special because you're here and because we get to share these memories with you. So I appreciate each and every one of you that have subscribed. Those that haven't subscribed, please do hit that notification bell. You know, hit the all notification bell so that you know when we're going live. But most likely, if you see the clock and it says 7 p.m., hey, take a look and see if you can join the Mighty Reds Army here with the Liverpool 12th Man Show. So until tomorrow, I will bid you adieu, and I will certainly say peace.